How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Indies sale right now. I just want to highlight a bunch of the deals that stand out to me. No exact price range. I guess all of these deals do, or at least the majority of them, do fall under $10, but I do want to give one mention to a slightly more expensive deal. These are all from the Indies sale. The Indies sale is always going to be the sale that they run that I am not going to be familiar with a lot of the games in terms of, your boy only has so many hours in a day. I cannot play every indie game under the sun. It's just very difficult for me to do alongside playing every new release that comes out. It is what it is as far as that's concerned, but got some recommendations for you guys. So let's get right into it. I will start off with the more expensive title. Chained Echoes is 20% off for $19.99. If you're a Plus subscriber, it is $18.74. I really liked Chained Echoes as a throwback JRPG. It is so well done. The writing is really good. The visual style is a throwback, but it works well. The gameplay's solid, and it's just a really refined game. It's really between Chained Echoes and Sea of Stars. I see that people go back and forth on which throwback JRPG do they like better. There's obviously other titles in that mix as well. It's not like Chained Echoes was the first of this kind, but it was a really well done one. Yes, it's not a significant discount given this game came out back in December of 2022. It being only 20% off is like, alright, why isn't this getting any cheaper? But guess what? It's well worth this price point, so I still thought it was worth a mention. Weird West Definitive Edition, 75% off for $9.99. This is one of the games that we actually have a full-on review for on this channel. Wolf Eye Studios and Devolver were nice enough to hook me up with a copy of the game, and I really enjoyed it in its entirety. Were there some issues? Absolutely. Bugs, glitches were there. The game has since been upgraded and updated, so keep that in mind. But what I really liked about Weird West is that it was a game that was very much driven on its decision-making and choices. However, a lot of games have decision-making, a lot of games have choices, but it doesn't really lead to a lot of ramifications in your overall gameplay experience. Weird West did a really good job of making your decisions have consequences, and how your playthrough transpired and how things unfold actually differed depending on the choices you made. Just really well thought out as far as that's concerned. Again, the game has its issues for sure, but I liked what they were going for with Weird West. I believe Wolf Eye is working on another new RPG, a sci-fi RPG, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but $9.99 for Weird West Definitive Edition. Great deal there. Next up, Trek to Yomi, 70% off for $5.99. I actually got a review of this game on the channel as well. $5.99 for Trek to Yomi is pretty good. I believe it was a Plus Essential title not too long ago, so a lot of you guys might have it in your library that way. Enjoyed the game. Presentation is absolutely slick. Gameplay is fairly simple, but works well. It is a super, and I mean super short game that you can complete in 2 to 3 hours. I want to say closer to 3 hours, 3 to 4. Let's say 3 to 4 hours, I want to say was the range, but I just remember being done with it and being like, wow, that was a quick game to go through, but it still kind of captures that experience of an old samurai movie, and it works well in terms of that regard. Obviously some supernatural elements thrown in there as well, but overall really did enjoy the game. It's just $19.99 was too much given the amount of content you're getting, but for $5.99, I think that's a good deal and definitely would give it a shot at that price point. Next up, my JRPG fans out there that are desperate to play every single one under the sun, I want to give a shout to Mato Anomalies. Mato Anomalies was a lower-key JRPG release last year, and it's more of a JRPG-inspired game. Very reminiscent of like the SMT games. However, I will also say from a quality standpoint, it is not at that level. Like, keep your expectations in line. It is very much a lower-budget game. The character designs I thought were really good. Soundtrack was pretty decent. It's a lower level game, but for $5.99, it's a game that doesn't get talked about much, so wanted to give that a shout. I think a lot of you guys will end up finding some enjoyment out of it if you're one of the more hardcore JRPG fans. Next up, Frostpunk Console Edition, 85% off for $4.49. This is available on PlayStation Plus Extra. Unfortunately, the DLC is not included here with the Console Edition, of course, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you can still have a good idea for the overall experience. Frostpunk is a game that I played a ton on PC, and it makes a fairly decent transition to the DualShock controls. It's always going to be a little bit of a, I don't want to say a learning curve, a little bit of an adjustment playing a game like this on consoles versus PC, but more and more games like this have been coming out on PC. You got City Builders on on consoles, City Builders on consoles, survival games on consoles. It's more something that we've been seeing. Frostpunk is really well done in terms of atmosphere, in terms of design. Very, very emotionally gripping game which 11-bit Studios does a really good job with. Frostpunk 2 in development right now. Hopefully will be out here shortly, but the console release for that is probably going to take a while. But $4.49 for that, pretty good. Inside, 75% off for $4.99, done by Playdead, the same developers of Limbo. Inside is a really, really well done, atmospheric, darker platformer, some puzzle elements in there as well. Not a super lengthy game, but a game worthwhile to go through. Definitely would give that a shout. Next up, we got Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, the complete edition, 67% off for $4.94. Super charming, super colorful beat-em-up title here. Don't have any attachment towards Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I have, like, seen no content in regards to that outside of playing this game, but really enjoyed the game. Thought it was a well-done beat-em-up, and if you're looking for something a little bit more casual, I feel like you'll get that with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Next up, GRIS, 80% off for $3.39. This is a game that I've been drumming the beat of a little bit more recently. I think if you're looking for a game that is more of a gaming presented as an art form, GRIS, and I always have thought that was I don't know, I thought it was a little bit overdone, overset, I should say, growing up, but GRIS is one of those games that I really feel like falls that criteria. Like, it's a very, very artistic game. The presentation's absolutely beautiful. Like, if you look at GRIS and you're not like, okay, this game from an art direction standpoint captivates me, I don't even know what to say at that point. It's an emotionally moving game, which I really have a hard time recommending games because people are going to react to games that are very, very emotionally gripping like this in different ways, especially when it completely leans on that as being a big core element of the game. I would say just give it a shot, see how you like it, and I think most of you guys are going to have a really remarkable experience out of it. It's not something that is super lengthy, 80% off for $3.39. I think you're going to have an engaging experience. It's hard to say if it's going to be a great experience, but I think you'll be engaged the whole way through. My Friend Pedro, 75% off for $4.99. Excellent, excellent deal here. I believe this was on Plus Extra for a little bit, not on Plus Extra anymore. Action shooter here, over-the-top gameplay, a little bit nonsensical, of course, but worthwhile at $4.99 for sure. Next up, SteamWorld Dig 2, 80% off for $3.99. If you're a Plus subscriber, it's only $2.99, which I just think is a ridiculously good deal. Metroidvania here, great visual style. And it's one of those games that I'll get to another one like this, that it's a Metroidvania that didn't get a lot of traction just because the market is just filled with a lot of high-quality titles like this, but a well-done one. $2.99 is a great pickup. And then Guacamelee 2, 75% off for $4.99, another great one. Little bit comical for sure. You're playing as a luchador just doing crazy things in this Metroidvania, but a well-designed game. And if you're looking for something a little bit more on the comedic side, you'll have a good time with that. Child of Light, 70% off for $4.49. I think that's a great deal for Child of Light. I mean, Ubisoft gets a lot of flack as a development studio, but when they put out, you know, interesting games like this, I gotta give them credit. And I thought they did a really good job with Child of Light. Interesting RPG, great visual style that has just aged very gracefully, even being a decade old, which is wild to think about, but $4.49 on that. And then lastly, Hotline Miami, the collection, if you're a Plus subscriber, is $3.99. I mean, tremendous deal for Hotline Miami 1 and 2, over-the-top, visceral. I want to say visceral and bloody, however, like, yo, it's pixels at the end of the day. Like, I don't know how gruesome it's gonna be for you guys, but it's over the top as all hell. Great soundtrack here. It's total throwback and does a really good job of being that. $3.99 for both games if you're a Plus subscriber, $4.99 if you're not. That's still a really solid deal. And that's gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals across the board on the indie sale as well, and wanted to cover all the deals just across a variety of price ranges. Check them out for yourself. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.